My friends over at iVanky sent me over the FusionDock Pro 3. Did I say it right? Yes, FusionDock Pro 3. Wow. And yes, I've been using this for the last few months. It is pretty amazing, but will I recommend it for Mac users? Ooh, we're going to have to wait and find out because I do have the FusionDock Pro Max one, and that might be a better option. So I'm going to get to it right now. Let's unbox it. It was empty. I unboxed it a while ago. So let's get to that unboxing right now. All right, we got the FusionDock Pro 3. This is a Thunderbolt 5 certified dock, and I'm a big fan of the iVanky docking stations, especially with my MacBook Pro M2 Max. And yes, I know there's more. There's the M3, there's the M4 Max, and the Thunderbolt 5 certified is not going to be working with mine, so I can't test it specifically on my M2 Mac, but I can test it to show you how fast it is, how efficient it is. But it's going to get its best performance on a Thunderbolt 5 certified computer, which I believe is the M4 series of the Mac, or even PCs this would work on. And the cool thing is, here, let me show you before I open this up. The cool thing about this is, yes, you can do a maximum of 2 8K monitors at 60 frames per second, but you can also do 3 4K up to 144 hertz. And so a lot of these monitors, and my LG OLED does 120 hertz 4K, so I could do dualies at 120 hertz, which is fantastic. I'm a big fan of that. So this will be a good one to work with. So let's unbox it. There we go. This should come out pretty good. So here is the docking station, and first impression, you know what? iVanky never disappoints. This thing is solid. It feels good in the hands. And yes, it has a nice gloss to it. So as you can see, we have the USB 5 gig, the USB 10 gig, there's the other 10 gig. It does have an Ethernet of 2.5 gigabit, and you've got your Thunderbolt connectors right here. So for powering, you got 15 watts, and your SD card. Now, if it had micro SD, whoa, would that be a winner? But you know what? We could still work with it. Here are the USB-C Thunderbolt 5 cable. Let's make sure it is. See if it says Thunderbolt 5. Thunderbolt 5 right there. Perfect. Yes. And here is the power brick, which is almost as big and heavy as the docking station. So here you go for that. And you've got your other power connector right there. So I will say, here it is, by the way, I will say that it is a pretty awesome dock for the size, for the weight, what you get with it. It's nice. I do like SD cards, right? But I do like micro SD cards, and that's where the FusionDock Max 1 really does shine for me, because I'm shooting a lot of drones, so I'm using the SD card slot. I'm also using the micro SD card slot. You can always, use an adapter, but it is better to have that on there. And you have the Thunderbolt 5 here. It goes right to the front. And I'm not sure why a lot of these people are doing it this way. Now, the Max 1 doesn't have that issue, but this one does, the Pro 3, where you actually, this is the front interface, where you do have to have it plugged into the front, where it's going to go then into your Thunderbolt 4 in my case, or 5 if you're PC. But it's weird because it's in the front. I would rather have it in the back. So iVanky, awesome design, awesome feel and everything, but just make sure in the future, anything you develop, if you put it in the back, it just looks cleaner, better, and then your extra peripherals that you want to put in, then they can go in the front. But for that Thunderbolt, let's put it in the back. Now, I've been using the FusionDock Max 1 for the last year and a half, and that thing is by far the best I have ever used. It has so many ports. It works great when it comes to the MacBooks. Mine's the MacBook M2 Pro Max, and with the Thunderbolt 4, it is awesome. I love it, and I don't run out of ports. Now, with this one, the Pro 3, it is good, and for the price, it is very good. It does not have as many ports. It also doesn't have a micro SD card slot, which I really do like. The micro SD card slot on the Max is good. On this Pro 3, well, it's non-existent. Also, if you like optical audio, you do have that option on the Max 1. I don't personally. I'm always using a headset, but it is good. And speaking of which, this does have the headset right there, and you got that on the Max 1. And then outside of that and having Thunderbolt 5, well, there isn't a big difference, except for this. There is not a Mac that utilizes the Thunderbolt 5 in the sense that you get a 4K monitor at 120 hertz. Right now, you only max that out at 4K 60 hertz, which then it just makes sense to use the HDMI 2.1 on your M2 Max or higher, because then you are getting 4K 120 hertz. And I do utilize that on my LG OLED 48-inch 120 hertz TV, which I use as a monitor. It is beautiful when I'm editing on it. And I need that 120 hertz because if you edit on 48 inches at 60 hertz, it is choppy, it is not beautiful, but it is smooth as butter. So I do have to use the HDMI 2.1 on my MacBook M2 Pro Max. Cannot use it on here. I also cannot use it on my Max iVanky right there. So Jared, why would you ever get this docking station? And if you're a PC user with a Thunderbolt 5, then you would, because this thing absolutely shines. It has nothing to do with the hardware in here that doesn't utilize that 4K 120 hertz. It is absolutely on the Mac end of things on how it processes through any Thunderbolt. Even if you have Thunderbolt 5, it still bottlenecks at 60 hertz. Now, with PC, their hardware does not bottleneck it. You actually do get 4K 120 hertz, and you can do dual monitors up to 4K 144 hertz if you really wanted to through this. But as of today, whatever day this is, let's see here. We are in the middle of June. You can't. June of 2025. But in the future, I bet this thing will finally be good enough for a Mac, because a Mac will finally be good enough for this. But right now, this thing is excellent for PC with Thunderbolt 5. But if you are a Mac user like myself now, yes, I converted a couple years ago. I can't go back. There's no transitioning back after you've gone Mac. You don't go back. And in that case, I would say go to the iVanky FusionDock Max 1, because you get a lot more connections onto it, a lot more offering. It is a little bit smaller. It is more powerful when it comes to that, and you'll like it. But if you want to have some awesome power when it comes to extra monitors, and you are a PC user and you have Thunderbolt 5, well, the FusionDock Pro 3 is the way to go. But between the two on my Mac, I can't tell the difference, and the price is very close. Right now on sale, this is around $300, but it has come down with the iVanky FusionDock Max 1, and you can get that for about $350. For $50 more, you get more ports, and it just makes a lot more sense for media users like ourselves. But again, this would be actually the dock I would use if my Mac did support Thunderbolt 5 and did not bottleneck at 60 hertz, and it went to the 120 hertz on my monitor. But it doesn't. You have to have a PC for that. Now, this was a quick review. I hope it helped. I'm going to have links below, so if you are a PC user, well, check out this one. And if you are a Mac user like me, the Pro Max is pretty awesome. And feel free to check out my buyer's guide when it comes to real estate photography. I have a list in the link below, a PDF that is free. It breaks down what equipment on what budget you want to use when photographing real estate. You might already find you have these kind of lenses and cameras, and you may not even have to buy anything else, but this will give you an idea, if you do, what it would cost and where you can start. So check out that free buyer's guide below. And I do plan on making a tutorial video on getting into real estate photography. That's going to be a PDF with a lot of visuals. So if you're interested, I'm going to try to make it as affordable as possible. And that's keeping it under a couple $100, which is pretty good because a video course would be well over $1,000. So for that, if you are interested, leave a comment below, and I'm going to get that out probably in the next month and a half or so. But till then, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and of course, you got to check out these videos that you probably missed. They're amazing. I made them myself by hand. And AI. AI helped.